Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Natoya and I'm here to help you start traveling the world. In this video guys, I'm going to give you the exact strategy I use to get super duper cheap flights to anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter where you want to go or where you're leaving from. You can use the simple 3 strategies I'm about to give you to book a cheap flight anywhere. So guys, this video is a part of my beginner budget traveler series. It's a series where I teach newbie budget travelers everything they need to know to start traveling the world on a tight budget and make their travel dreams come true. So if you want to get some step-by-step tips on just about everything you need to start your travel journey, be sure to check out the playlist in the description and I'll link it above. And also, I created a bunch of checklists and guides, a lot of freebies in the description below to help you start traveling. Now, of course, we all have different opinions of what a cheap flight is. But for me, a cheap flight is anything under $500. And $500 is like the very, very far end. It's usually different for different locations. So like, of course, in the US, it's way less than $500. Europe is different, and if I'm going somewhere in South America or the Caribbean, it's different. But what I consider to be a super cheap flight would be the $420 I paid to get to Japan and the $330 something I paid to get to Paris. I think those, in my opinion, are very cheap flights. So if you're interested in getting the exact 3 strategies I use to get super cheap flights, the same strategies that I've been using since 2009 when I first started traveling, make sure you watch to the end of the video. All right, guys, so before we jump right into those 3 strategies, you have to lay a solid foundation for these cheap flights. So you have to do these 3 things before you even start booking cheap flights, because these 3 things will help you book cheap flights. And not only that, one of the tips I'm about to tell you will help you earn free flights. The first thing you need to do is set up certain accounts to help you start earning free flights. There are some simple ways you can passively earn free flights. So the first thing you can do is sign up with an Air Alliance program. Now there's so many different Air Alliance programs out there. So our Airline Alliance program are a group of airlines that are partnered together, and they're the airlines that allow you to have connecting flights so that you can finally get to your destination. So because there is a bundle of airlines all together, when you sign up for these airlines programs, if you fly with one airline and you fly with another airline, all of those miles will add up and it would allow you to get a free flight. Every time you fly, you can submit your miles. And when those miles add up to a certain amount, depends on where you want to go, you can get a free flight. So for example, the Airline Alliance program that I'm a part of is SkyTeam or Sky Miles. So it's basically with Delta, and it's with a whole bunch of other airlines too, like Korean Air, Air France, KLM. It's a whole bunch of different airlines that are partnered together. So your first step is to figure out what airlines you mostly fly with so that you can sign up for their program. And also there's a lot of programs with just one airline. For example, JetBlue, Frontier Airlines, or they usually have different names for them. But if you mostly fly with those airlines, make sure you sign up for it so you can start earning points or miles and get free flights. So for example, I earned a free flight, a round-trip flight to Puerto Rico just from submitting my miles, and I would have been traveling normally anyway. So in the description, I'll link the 3 major airline alliances so you can check out which one you think you'll be traveling with. Okay, so the next way to start earning free flights, and this is not something that I really recommend, it is that you can earn free flights or free miles from using your credit card. I don't recommend this method because I feel like it can get out of hand, and I feel like some people will just start buying stuff on their credit card thinking that they're earning miles, and it's just a kind of way of sabotaging yourself. So I don't really recommend this way. But if you're gonna open up a new credit card anyway, you might as well get a credit card that would help you earn miles and then get free flights. So I'm definitely not an expert on this, but I'll link an article in the description from NerdWallet on the best credit cards to help you earn free miles. And finally, the third way for you to earn free miles is from other loyalty programs that don't really have anything to do with flying. So for example, Lyft, when you take Lyft rides, you can earn miles with SkyTeam. When you book Airbnbs, you can earn miles with SkyTeam. Hertz. There's a lot of different programs, and then that will contribute to you getting a free flight. The airline alliance that you are a part of, just do a quick Google search to find different ways to earn free miles. All right, after you set yourself up to earn free flights, the next thing you need to know is that when you're searching for a flight, you need to do it in a private window. So whether you're using Chrome or Safari or whatever, there's an option to open up a private window. So I don't know the technical reason behind it. I have no clue. But what I know for sure is that when you search a flight, when you're searching for a flight a lot, the flight tends to go up, it changes, and it might go up a few dollars or whatever, but still it changes because your browser, the website realizes that you're searching for the flight a lot. And I've even seen this with Airbnb.com. Sometimes when I'm searching for a property and then I go back to that property, the price would actually raise. And then maybe the next day when I'm searching that same exact property, the price would be different. So when you're searching for your flight, open up a private window so that the price won't be affected by your history. All right, so the last thing you have to do before you start booking flights is to understand that you have to read the fine print before you hit submit and you purchase your flight. Please do not assume the things you'll receive when you purchase your flight. I know when I first started traveling, it was normal to have a seat selection. It was normal to have like snacks given on the plane. And it was always normal to expect to have a carry-on luggage. But nowadays, you should expect to absolutely receive nothing from these airlines, especially from the budget airlines here in Europe. The budget airlines here in Europe, they literally just promise you a seat on the plane, somewhere on the plane. That's all you're promised. And of course, you can have like a little bag, but don't expect to have a checked baggage or a seat assignment, anything like that. And even some airlines will charge you to print your boarding pass out. Some airlines will charge you 50, I think it's Ryanair or EasyJet. They charge you 50 euros to check in at the airport if you have not checked in at home. So be sure to read the fine print with these budget airlines, particularly in Europe. Okay, so just to make it clear, make sure you know your baggage allowance, if you're allowed a seat assignment, if you're getting snacks on the plane. I guess that wouldn't matter if you're having a short flight, but if you're taking like a flight from the US to America, it does matter. When you have to check in, when the window to check in, if you can have a printed boarding pass. I know some of those seem small. You do have to figure out if you have to pay for those because it can be a problem on a day of travel. All right, guys, so let's finally get into the first strategy. My first strategy is to use a quality search engine. Not all search engines will give you super duper cheap flights. I've tried so many search engines over the years. I've tried Kayak, I tried Google Flights, but I have to say the best search engine is skyscanner.com. So I've been using skyscanner.com for years and years, and I always find that the flights are the cheapest on the internet. And if you're not sure of exactly what a flight search engine is, it basically searches many different airlines for the cheapest flight. So think of Skyscanner like Google, instead it's for plane tickets. So what you're gonna love about Skyscanner, and I'll get more into that later on in the video, but Skyscanner helps you to be as flexible as possible to get the cheapest tickets. It gives you the data you need to find the cheapest tickets on the internet. So like I said, guys, it's very important for you to use the right website, because if you're not on the right website, everything that I said in this video won't matter. You'll still be overpaying for your flights. And I'll leave a link to the Skyscanner app in the description. So the next strategy you need to get super cheap flights is to fly when most people aren't. You need to become an off-season traveler. You need to get into the lifestyle or habit, whichever one, of being an off-season traveler, because that's where the cheap deals are. And I'm not just talking about cheap flights, I'm talking about cheap accommodation, cheaper activities. So the obvious times not to travel, don't travel around Thanksgiving, Christmas, 4th of July, Valentine's Day, Labor Day, and of course, do not travel during the summer. Oh, and just to make it clear, off season would be, yes, when people aren't traveling, but like during the winter, generally during the winter and during the fall and like early spring, that's when I consider off season, because most people aren't traveling those times. I know this might be rough if there's a lot of people in your life that the only time they have to travel is during the summer, but I do not recommend traveling during the summer. Actually, I never ever travel during the summer, and I even find it kind of weird to travel during the summer because like I never do it. The only reason I'm traveling during the summer is because Europe finally opened for Americans. So you'll get at that point too where you're so used to not traveling during the summer, so don't worry about it. All right, so the third strategy is to be as flexible as possible. You need to travel when you see a deal. So let's first talk about your travel dates. If you can be flexible with the month that you're traveling. You type in the airport you're departing from and where you want to go. And then you click on the cheapest month and you click search, and then you'll see the cheapest month will pop up, which in this case, it's October is the cheapest month to go to Madrid. And then you'll have this calendar view here, and you could decide on your own the dates you want to travel. So it looks like if I randomly see it here, the 8th to the 15th, say you want to go for a week, it'll be $350 to Madrid. Now, if you have to travel within a specific month, you just go right back to Skyscanner and then you enter the month. Let's say it's actually November that you want to travel from New York. And you see what's the cheapest month in November. So it says November to November. And let's just say the 11th. Let's see what the cheapest day is. 13th to the 20th, and that will be $400. So I know that most of you will have to request your days off at your job. So you could just use the information you find on Skyscanner to give your boss an estimate of the dates you want to travel or the exact dates. And by being flexible and traveling off season, I am pretty sure you can get the days off that you want, because I'm sure your coworkers probably won't be wanting to go on vacation in the middle of October. The next way you have to be flexible is the day in the week that you're traveling. So of course, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, many people would want to travel because that's the only time they have after work or free time from work. I find that Friday afternoons are just the worst time to travel because, again, think about it, most people, that's right after they get from work. And the best times I find to travel is just right in the middle of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, sometimes Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. Those are the best times to travel because, again, people are at work and they can't take time off. And finally, you have to be flexible with the time of day you're traveling. So I find that really, really early morning flights and really, really late flights tend to be the cheapest because, again, who wants to wake up super early or be at the airport super late? It's just a pain in the butt. But as budget travelers, we have to make those sacrifices. The next way you have to be flexible is your departure airport in the US and your arrival airport in the country you're visiting. Sometimes you need to travel to an airport just to get the cheapest flight. So for example, I'm closest to JFK Airport, but I'm willing to travel to Newark Airport in New Jersey just because flights are so cheap. So for example, to get to Paris from Newark Airport, for some reason, it's super cheap. There's so many like budget airlines that leave from that airport. So I'm so willing to save $150 to $200 and travel about a half an hour more just to get to Newark Airport and get those cheap flights. So that goes for the airport you're departing from to get to your destination. So now let's talk about the airport you're arriving in. You can also choose an alternate airport for that too. So for example, say that you want to go to like Budapest and the tickets are super expensive to Budapest. You could simply go to Google Maps and see what the nearest large airport is, like International Airport, and Bratislava is here, Vienna is here, or you can go to Hungary and see what's a different airport close by. So that's what I do when I see that a flight to a certain destination is a lot of money. I just look for a different airport nearby, and then I make sure that I can get there in a cheaper, like easy way. So I can either take the flexi bus, I can take the train, I could get a ride there or whatever. I just make sure that the overall cost of getting from America to the destination that I want is way, way less than how much I would pay if I go directly to the airport that I originally planned on going to. I hope that makes sense. All right, guys, so let's quickly talk about when to book your flight, when to start looking for your flight to get the best deals. So I know that some people swear by last minute flights or really booking their flights really early, like a year or two in advance. I know that some people do that, but I find that the sweet spot is 4 to 12 weeks before departure date. 4 weeks is definitely pushing it. That's when I find the prices starts to go up, when it hits 4 weeks. So of course, this is not for domestic flights inside the US and even flights within Europe. This is for flights leaving from the US and going internationally. For me, I found that 4 to 12 weeks seems to be the perfect time to get those deals. All right, and finally, guys, you can use Skyscanner to set up a price alert. So you can enter the flight that you're interested in, and Skyscanner will send you an email when the price is low. So I'll link it in the description, the article to do that on Skyscanner, so that you can set that up. So guys, I hope this video helped. This is everything you need to do to get super duper cheap flights. It's the only things I do to get cheap flights. There's no mystery, there's no secrets. So guys, make sure you comment in the description of the cheap flight that you got. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you can be alerted when I make a new video. Bye.